The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On Saturday, September 6th, Your Move Games will host the first ever 5K Magic Day in Massachusetts. This event is open to all players and is expected to be huge, so mark your calendars and they'll see you there.
My name's Patrick Chapin.
Hello.
Hello. I'm not really Patrick Chapin, I'm just an actor who plays him on TV. But if I were Patrick Chapin, I'd be wearing next level attire.
It makes you better at magic.
It doesn't actually do that though.
This is Patrick Chapin, and buy next level clothes. This is the Magic Show. Is Magic only 15?
Only 15.
3 more years, Magic.
I'm sure you'll write an article explaining your choices and things of that nature.
No. Actually, to me, the voting is a bit of a personal thing, and I voted primarily based on a combination of merit and contributions to the game. It matters a lot to me when people are good deck builders or road warriors or have competed on Grand Prix as well as Pro Tours for helping make the game and the environment and the culture so enjoyable and so fulfilling that other players want to stay involved, who they are still doing, they're moving on to poker and business and the stock market and to Curacao and whatever they're doing. But there are players who hold them in the game's culture because they want to see those people. And I think those people are really, really, really good for the game, you know?
Absolutely.
And to me, that's a big factor for why people should be in the Hall of Fame as well.
What we need is a fantasy Magic League.
That would be insane!
I love fantasy football. I love it. And me and my buddies, we get together, we have a big deal out of it. And why don't we have, I just drafted my team for the year, and I first picked Chapin, or I first picked, Shuhei, or I first picked whatever. You have drafts, you keep track of it.
You're suggesting one or two, you get 2 level 8s, 2 level 7s, 2 level 6s, or something.
Well, just like the sort of the NFL, the fantasy leagues for baseball and football, I mean, there's 4,000 different options. Right. So I figure you could create a league sort of like that, or you could do a league of just however many players, and a lot of people just be level 8 mages and above, and that's fine. And I just thought it would be super cool.
I think it would be very, very cool. There's a variety of ways you can do this. If you're just with your friends, you can straight up be person 1 drafts Saito, person 2 drafts Wafotop, or however you're doing it.
Yeah.
And then go around until, Rochester draft the people, and go until you each have a team as large as you feel is interesting.
Exactly.
Or you could set up a system so that a large number of people can all be competing for some Uber prize or series of prizes, and you can keep track as the year progresses. The question is, how can we get this started immediately?
I don't know, because I'd love to do it.
No kidding. If somebody please tell me where this service exists, I'll go sign up right, I don't know, what is today, Friday on the show, and we can be signed up by tomorrow. Just tell us where the site is. Tell us how long would it take to program something like this? Please make this happen.
Magic geeks out there are very smart, interesting people that have a lot of computer knowledge specifically because we love math, because Magic's a math game. So we have a lot of thoughts and logic and all that good stuff, and we should put them together and make a Magic Fantasy League because it would be so much fun.
We will personally thank you here on this show. And in my articles, I'll thank you. Please just...
We'll talk about you. I'll put up pictures.
We
we'll
can
write
plug
songs. We'll plug. We would love something like that. I would love something like that. Have your people call. Wizards is sold out on acquisition.
Okay.
So let's say if they came to Patrick Chapin and they said, Patrick Chapin, we gotta get some new players. We got some new blood. What would you do?
How can I help?
How would we approach it?
So you want me to lead up an acquisition task force?
Well, I don't.
Is this sort of like? Did you ever see Mask? when you were a kid?
Are we talking about the guy with the face? And
No. Mask was not the.
Oh, you're
not
talking
the
about
Jim Carrey.
the cards.
The cartoon, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. They all have special
amazing.
cards, and
Yeah.
we assemble a special task force for every mission.
Yes.
God.
So
So
badass.
yeah, so we're gonna assemble an acquisition task force. Well, we got to do a few things. First of all, we have to do a little bit of revamping the Magic image.
Okay.
Now, I think that there's a lot of good with the whole poker craze, and I know they're wary of being associated with poker.
Because
However,
of gambling.
right, because of the gambling.
Right.
However, you can still ride the sort of intellectual movement there, because it's not the poker is about gambling. It's about the smart people are using their brains to accomplish something. World of Warcraft is like the biggest thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
The computer game.
Yeah.
Smart is what is in. So this is a perfect opportunity for Magic to cross over to more mainstream areas when it's just presented as another way that smart people are having fun. Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! And I know it's very dangerous to draw comparisons between Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! But at the end of the day, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a platform that is enjoying incredible success based on where it came from because of the fact that they have this cartoon,
Yeah.
and this cartoon is cool to their target audience.
Yeah.
And as a result, a whole bunch of kids who would normally never play normally never play collectible card games get into them because they watch this cartoon, they see the people in the cartoon doing it, and they want to get into it.
Right.
What they need to do is work on improving the image of the game, not from the standpoint of apologizing about the fact that, people at tournaments aren't really as dorky as they appear, or, there aren't as many dragons, or, oh no, it's not really a card game, it's kind of a video game, which is cool.
Yeah.
No, I think what you want to do is be proud of what it is. Look at this person, who's so widely successful. He could be doing anything in the world that he likes, and he's playing Magic because, you make millions playing poker, but Magic, you have fun.
We need some sort of catalyst like that. We need some sort of you want to frame it in a way that sort of opens people's eyes. Just like Sin City. Like once you watch Sin City the movie, all of a sudden graphic novels I think got a lot cooler for a lot of people because it mirrored it so closely that to the point where it was almost frame by frame in certain aspects of it. And you were like, wow, I can't believe you can have a story that looks that dynamic. And you go, well, yeah, it's been on the page for a decade. You just never bothered to check it out. And so, once you sort of give people that different perspective, then they can get back into it. But I don't know if, changing pre-releases to local stores is all of a sudden going to make someone go, I want to play Magic. You know what I mean? Just because now there's pre-releases.
Well, you're just targeting the same people.
Yeah.
You're targeting the same people you've always targeted, which are the people who are going to the local game stores.
In the first
You're
place.
hoping to catch somebody who was in there buying the latest Dungeons and Dragons expansion, or the latest model airplane, or the latest, or they were buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards and they see there's a big hubbub about Magic. Whatever, that audience exists already, and it's fine, but that audience is not going to suddenly go away just because Magic gets cool. With poker, they show you on TV, they give you a 15-second description how to play Texas Hold'em. They show you on TV, these are the odds, these are the person's cards in hand,
Right.
and you watch the people. And people who don't know how to play poker or don't know poker theory or whatever, they can watch poker and it's interesting. Now you changed the game up a whole bunch. I've seen a bunch of highlights of top 8s that you've been doing recently. Mm-hmm. You do the top 8s a lot differently than they used to. You show the course of the game but jump from one action to the next action to the next action, cut all the thinking time out.
That's correct.
Which causes it to flow, and you put words on the screen to help explain what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that line of that, I don't want to call it technology, but it's almost intellectual technology. That theory about how to present the game needs to be explored more, because that is the step in the direction towards making it so that somebody who doesn't know how to play Magic can watch a game of Magic and be interested. You know what? Wizard, give me a director, an editor, and give me a staff of 5 smart people. Well, put together a Magic top 8. This guy's gonna be on. Put together a top 8 from a Pro Tour or from the World Championships that you can put on, that you can advertise and show to people at ESPN2, and have people who don't know anything about Magic be interested and captivated by.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Wow.
You gotta get
Imagine.
mainstream crossover. Imagine this, if you will. What if every pro that was at least level 3 or something, got to pick a kid to invite to a tournament? And the idea is that in some way we set it up so that
when the kid does well, then
there's some bonus for the pro,
right?
And the pro would be heavily incentivized. And it doesn't have to be a big bonus, because if it was set up so that if you top 8'd a JSS, your mentor would get 1 Pro Tour point or 2 Pro Tour points, and if you won, he would get 4 Pro Tour points. Like, it doesn't have to be a very big swing,
right?
But Pro Tour points are valuable. You know, just a couple Pro Tour points would make a lot of pros sit up and notice.
Yeah.
And it also is just a net positive for them because they get to invite somebody.
Yeah.
They could just not, but if they invite somebody, they're giving somebody an opportunity to win scholarship money. So it helps encourage the idea of pros as stars also, because now you have all these kids who are not just looking up to these pros, but they're actually, you know, petitioning these pros for a chance to win scholarship money.
The pros are actually lending their celebrity at that point. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
Is the way they sort of almost marry their celebrity together. You say, hey, Cheon's protege such and such is now on the tour. And so,
Right. Oh my God.
how cool would that
Can you imagine if you know if they could set it up so that you know you have Steve Sadin, and they show Steve Sadin talking to some kid, and he's from New York, and Steve knows the guy from the local hobby shop, and he's about to play in a match in the finals of the JSS against Luis Scott Vargas's one of the guys in Luis Scott Vargas's area, and
they're over there conferring, and they're getting built up about it, and they're getting worried.
Then you could synchronize it with an event if it just was at the same event but at a different time, so that they could somehow set it up so that the pros are already there to help lend support to the JSS kids.
Exactly.
I mean, that would be, and it would lend so much more strength to the idea of pros mattering. There's an idea there,
Yeah.
There's something there that should be explored.
Absolutely, because they're all about, Wizards is all about, you got to make them stars. You got to make the Pro Tour guys be bigger than life. Don't worry, don't focus as much on the cards as you should focus on the players themselves. And that's what the JSS never had. You just don't hear about. You heard about the guys or the kids or what have you, who transcended the JSS, who continued to do well. Kyle Goodman, Brett Blackman, and then everyone else was just like, well, they're JSS guys.
But you know what? If the kid is presented as Paul Cheon's protege,
yeah.
now you instantly have star appeal already.
Exactly.
People care because they may never have heard of the kid yet.
But
if Paul Cheon is backing this kid,
then there must be something special.
Right, there's something special.
So it makes them both look good. It makes Magic look good. It makes Magic look good to mothers, which is most important in terms of acquisition of the youth, as it were. But it does make Magic look much better in terms of parents when you do things of that nature. But I think lending your celebrity is one of the keys to making the JSS come back.
How cool would that be if they just had one junior Pro Tour type event?
It's one of those where you sound like, would this flop or would this go bad or whatever, and it's sort of, it reminds me of back when the Pro Tour first started. Are the same people really going to be near the top 8? Can the same people, are they really that good, or is it just random chance? Are the JSS kids just that good? Well, when you get mentored by players of the stature, you're going to see the cream rise to the top, and the best teachers and the best mentors actually do well. To the point where
somebody's got to be the next Mark Herberholz.
Well, to the point where you could have somebody go like, I hope I'm Cheon's, next protege, or I hope I'm Herberholz's next protege, or whatever, if they're willing to do that. I think that would be very cool. So that'll do it for the Magic Show for this week. I'd like to thank you for your time, man.
Absolutely, man. It is always a pleasure.
And so until next time, this is me and Patrick Chapin tapping the cards, so you don't have to.
The geeks were